Should be copied to another device. Just copied to another computer. Sorry for the delay. Yep. So we're starting with it.
I am Michio, Inaba. From Japan. I am deaf.
Thanks a lot, Michio. That's how we are gonna work this whole day, the whole 20 past to 24 hours. So we want to introduce to you how we had to get up with these things. Just a short overview of our learning activity. There are 6 phases. We planned 6 phases in our learning activity. You can read it. I don't have to read it out. And we will try to show you what these phases will all be about. The first will be about an orientation. We'll do an online meeting with all of our students. They're from 4 different countries. So we get them shortly briefed what we're all about, and just to set out the time schedule and the planning. The second phase, where we're building groups with with students from each country, so we can collaborate, of course, online. And these groups have different objectives, and my friend and I will tell you these objectives.
Okay, in order to attain the objective that we set in this learning activity, that Michio Inaba from Japan do it in a sign language earlier, we task the students to form groups, and the groups are as follows. So we have there the data miners, the interviewers, and the marketers. Each group has different functions to perform, and we made sure that students, when working in the group, will develop the 21st century skills. The first group are the data miners. They are tasked to collect data and visualize it based on the poverty from the local and national. They will interpret the data and produce reports. In that case, they are building collaboration and knowledge construction. The second group is the interviewers. The interviewers are responsible in conducting interview to a poor person or a rich person. This is an application in a real world scenario because they will get the perception of the poor people and rich people. They will ask about what's happening in the real time, and they will produce reports with a video. The third group are the marketers. From the data that produced from the data miners and the video that was produced by the interviewers, they will gather it, and for global awareness, they will build another web page or perhaps in Facebook so that people will understand the causes of poverty.
Thanks. That was phase 2, phase 3. Now we are up to exchange. We're trying to build these 3 groups. We split them groups. So we built new groups, the problem solvers. So in this group there are members of all each of the previous 3 groups, and they should build on these skills they just set up in their expert groups, data miners, interviews, and marketeers, to solve a real life problem, and that's what my friend Tamer is talking about.
We came here to the expert group, which is called the problem solvers. It must include the group leader and the quality controller from each of the previous groups A, B, and C, besides other students. They are mainly responsible for finding the causes of poverty in the areas they are doing research on, and whether it's related to industry, agriculture, lack of awareness, etc. After that, they must find the skills the people live there are good at, proceeding to suggesting solutions and the steps they will move on depending on the findings. We can find here a diagram. If we have two cities, city A is poor and famous for plastic industries, for example. Students, for example, will find that another city is called city B, which is famous for high consumers of plastic products. So the role of students will to connect the problem with the solution through training, awareness campaigns, or recommendation letters for the people in charge.
Thanks. And last phase, one of the last phases, will be about evaluation. So we split these expert groups apart, and then we are going back to the first 2 groups, and they will do some evaluation work of what they've done in this on this special problem. And the last word I will hand over to Michio again. Thanks. Maybe we're allowed to show some video of how we were working together. Michi made a beautiful video of our collaboration.
You have 1 minute left.
It's just 1 minute.
From English to Japanese, just communicate with us.
And Michi's students are also disabled, so that's the kind of thing we're aiming for with the collaboration process. It was pretty hard, but I think we did a good job.
You've explained a lot about what the students would do, but how exactly will they share the data together?
Of course, we were here in ICT based forum, so a lot of sharing will be go on with the OneDrive or Office 365 all into this. So we didn't want to emphasize on this kind of how it's done. I think it's more important to set out the structure and the idea, and to put. For me, it's clear they have to work together collaboratively, and they have to use ICT tools because we're from different countries. So we want to just lay out the path. What's our project? What our learning activity is all about, and we thought about. We did some collection to what they could use. So we thought about it a lot, but we don't want to point it out at the presentation format.
I think your project is very well organized, and I think the roles you come up with the data miners and the interviewers and the marketeers is a good idea. What I would like to ask you is how do you guarantee that all pupils got those kind of competences, and it's only 1/3 of the competences? How do you share those competences in the project?
Okay. For the groups, they have to collaborate, and they have to make certain that every one of this special group of the marketers have these skills, and then they can together to the proper software group. So they have to be very good briefed.
And we also have a quality controller that is responsible for feedback of everything or defects that might be found in the group. And according to this feedback, the students should modify their plans or etc.
Okay, thank you.
How do you decide which students are going to have which roles?
I think that's a progress they have to decide on their own.
Stop. We are on time schedule. We're back.
Thank you.
Group 45. The stage. Once again, I have to applaud you all for the language issues. You've really overcome them. Language, sign language, any language you have. Looks like you made it work.